I think we should be live now. Looks like it.
Yeah, this broadcast is live.
So, welcome to our live stream. If you're joining us live or if you're watching the replay, welcome. I am going to check the sound because I don't want to run into that issue again where we stream the whole thing and we couldn't hear anyone.
Yeah, see the lips moving. Make everybody read lips.
Double check. I see us.
It's live.
Yeah, it looks like we're doing. Welcome to our live stream. If you're joining us live or if you're watching the replay, do you guys mind maybe Rodger introducing yourself and then Grace introducing yourself just to make sure the sound's working? You stream the whole thing and we couldn't hear anyone.
Yeah. Okay, I'm hearing some other audio in the background.
Yeah, I'm hearing audio.
Yeah, I'm hearing like it's like live.
We're good. Yeah, it looks like we're doing. Welcome to our live stream. If you're joining us live or if you're watching the and maybe Rodger introducing yourself and then Grace introducing yourself just to make sure the sound's working. You're streaming the whole thing and couldn't hear anyone. Yeah.
Okay, I'm hearing some other audio in the background.
Yeah, I'm hearing
audio. Multiple audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
We all right now?
That's on audio now. I forgot my like mixer plays the sound from my computer too.
Oh, so okay. That's what we were getting.
Yeah, so you were hearing us repeating. So the sound's working. Everybody can hear us.
Sounds interesting.
Rodger, would you mind introducing yourself and then maybe Grace introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name's Rodger Moore. I'm a recent retired science teacher. I've been into gaming since I was a young kid. Really got back into it about 8 years ago. Started using it in my classroom with my students, a few years ago, and am trying to pursue and push that along a little further, I think. So,
awesome.
Working with you, Dustin, to do that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I'm excited. Excited to share some stuff we've been working on too. So
yeah.
And Grace.
Hi, everyone. I'm Grace. I'm Dustin's wife, and I've also been really into games probably around 3 or 4 years, and have been able to use some of it when I was teaching in Taiwan. Did some RPG gaming in my classroom, which was a lot of fun, and yeah, just here to support.
So you said you've been into games for 3 or 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long have we been married?
About the same time.
So that's long, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we always grew up with Monopoly and Payday and those types of games, but definitely a different style of gaming more recently.
Right, yeah. I'm excited that you're excited to play games with me, otherwise.
Yeah. Otherwise,
yeah, it wouldn't work.
Lots of solo stuff.
Yeah. Games. Awesome. Well, we are here to play a game called Nerd Words. I think based on the screen, you can see that, right? And I'm excited to share a little bit about something that you guys have been doing, and that's super awesome, is creating the resources for it. Rodger's kind of coming up with ideas and putting that together, and then Grace has been doing the design. So I kind of want to share those in a minute, but can someone tell me what Nerd Words is? Because I forgot.
You got what Nerd Words is?
No, but what did you maybe help us understand what the game's all about?
Well, I guess I could. So it's just it's kind of a way to learn, I guess, science words, kind of in a fun way. So somebody's you're gonna be playing. You're technically playing as teams. So every player will get a couple of cards with 3 different science words on it with the definitions. So you pick somebody to be the clue giver to start with. They'll pick one of the words off their card, and then they'll tell the players all the words are either 1 or 2 words, and they'll tell them, so like carnivore, power, circuit, whatever. There are all kinds of different things. So it's like, earth science, space science, medical biology, chemistry, physical science, a big gamut of stuff. And what they'll they'll do is they have to come up with a clue, but the clue that they give has to be one of the letters that's in the word itself. But the first three, they're going to give 4. The first 3 cannot be the first letter. And so then you're going to, you can bet some extra points. And obviously, if you get it earlier, you get more points. So you're trying to guess the word. And so basically, it would go around until everybody got to give all their words. And then everybody, it's just wherever the score is, and that's who wins.
Awesome. Yeah. So essentially like a clue giving game and a clue guessing game, and based on science vocabulary. I guess I have the parts, so I can kind of show you. We're going to be playing a little bit different because you mentioned it's usually teams, and you're usually keeping track with the scorecard. So if you're playing maybe at home, you might use something like this. But if you're playing in class, or what we're going to do, we're going to play in a distance learning remote setting. You wouldn't use this. You'd probably keep track, either have your students keep track themselves, or have a paper or something separately. There's also this, which is a betting token. So normally on teams, the team giving a clue can bet some points. They can wager some extra points. We're not going to use that either. And then we have the clue givers, the clues that they're giving, and then the guesses that the other team would make. So that's kind of the components that come with it. I want to share something that, let's see if I can get it, that Rodger and Grace have been working on. It looks really, really awesome.
I mean, it's all been Rodger.
Well, you make it look nice. You probably has to edit the snot out of my terrible writing.
It's a team effort, I guess, but I think it looks. I mean, it's really awesome that we've been able to put this together, and this is some of the stuff that you would get with purchasing the game Nerdwords through Board Game with Education. So Rodger put together this information about ways you might use this game in a learning environment. We're going to use it in a distance learning kind of setting. So these are some examples, like beginning of the school year, a formative assessment, review. So this is something you can look at on the website right now. If you go to Nerdwords and you check out the product, this is something you can kind of look at before you get the game, as well as an overview of the game, which gives you the objective, the vocabulary in the game, as well as, standards that it aligns with. And something that you would get after purchasing the game is the lesson plan that Rodger had put together. Really awesome lesson plan here that kind of based off of a similar model that most schools use. Anything that you guys want to add to this stuff that we have?
Well, I think is hopefully if this we get some interest, would be that we'd be constantly updating this stuff and adding things and taking suggestions that teachers might bring in and add that to it. So I always want to look at it as like an evolving thing where we're not really like statically, oh, we just made this thing and we're good.
Right.
I think it's going to depend obviously on the game that we're using, but
yeah,
constantly update it and add more to it and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like kind of based off that is we're really pushing distance learning at home learning because of the situation we're in. Can't really use a lot of games in the classroom at this time, depending on the school district where you are in the world, maybe. But yeah, Grace, you were going to say something?
No, I'm good.
I thought you were trying to jump in. Cool. So we're going to play. So if you are watching at home, you can join the Pear Deck over here. Go to joinpd.com and enter in that code XRBAA, and you can play with us. In my sticky notes. Oh, something I was thinking about while I was preparing for the stream, which would be really cool that we can kind of add to a different activity that you might try with this game, is playing it with as homework. So you give students a card at the end of the class, and at home they have to come up with the clues for each of the 3 words on that card. And I think it's a really good exercise because they are also thinking about the term and maybe doing some research on their own to see what words might connect with the term. So for example, we had like, what was circuit? So someone might look up what are some things or clues related to circuit that they could use as a clue in class. And it also doesn't take away from that time to where you have to think of a clue during class.
Right. No, that's a good idea.
Yeah. I think, because I had to write these clues down to give you guys.
Oh yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah. All right, let's start with. I'm gonna start with the easiest one.
It might be the easiest.
Yeah.
Maybe in your opinion.
No pressure.
Okay.
And I'm a science person. I struggle with some of this sometimes.
Yeah, it is a science theme game, and it does involve science vocabulary, but at the heart of the game, it's probably a word game, huh?
Yep.
All right, so next slide. So you're gonna give a guess, or I'm gonna give you a clue, and then you're gonna guess on your pair deck. You'll write what your guess is, the word, and then how much you want to bet. You'll both start with 6 points, and then if you get it right the first time, you get 4 points. The second time, 3 points. Third time, 2, and the last time, 1. So the first clue I'm going to give, and if you're watching at home on Facebook, if you're just watching our stream, you can comment your answer below, and you can try to guess what you might think the answer is. I'm going to give you the number of words is 1, and my first clue is ninja.
Ninja.
So remember, the clue has the word or has the letter N in the clue. So it has to contain the letter N.
Ninja.
And the word is a ninja. That's one word. And on your pair deck, if you're watching at home, you can actually join the pair deck. It's being covered by StreamYard. Oh no. I'm going to enter the code in the comments really quick. But the code, if you go to joinpd.com and you enter in the code XRBAA.
Ninja. That's a hard one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Wow, you're really throwing me off.
Or you can come join us live, or play by commenting your answer. Oh, nice! I hit enter. So you guys, I think you're out of time. I didn't flip the timer.
Oh my gosh.
The clue, I mean, to be honest, the clue isn't amazing, but I think maybe you'll get it after the next clue. All right, we'll see what you guys got. Oh, what happened? Show responses. There we go. So we got no points wagered. No points wagered. That's okay. The clue wasn't. I'm banking on clue number 2 helping you guys.
Okay.
So again, the word is going to have the letter T in it because the clue is turtle or turtles. Turtles. So again, you can guess by joining us live. You can come join us and play live, or you can join the pair deck by going to joinpd.com and entering the code XRBAA, or you can comment, play by commenting your answer on Facebook. I guess I didn't comment. Send that comment.
So we got to go to round 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys did you already guess?
No.
No.
Okay. Oh, I need to go to the slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Update. So it's 6-6 still.
Man. I don't think I've ever seen a full Ninja Turtle movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to give us a theme here.
I know. All I know is they're named after artists.
Right. And I don't think that's the word.
All right, we're gonna go see if you have some guesses. Oh, I went too far. Show responses. Donatello. It's incorrect.
Mine is not a science word. I was like, what?
You something. All right, so the next clue is transform. Transform. So again, the clue has an N, it has a T in it, and this is your third guess. If you get this correct, you get how many points?
2
points.
2? Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
So I have a question. Since you use the T again, does that mean there are 2 T's, or is it just that there is a T?
I would say it has 2 T's. But I don't know the exact rule. I'd have to double check because maybe you could use it twice, meaning just using the 1 T again. But there are 2 T's. I'll give you that.
Okay. I think that's okay, at least the way I understand the rules.
Yeah, I think you can kind of flex with that. All right. So, are we ready?
I spelled that wrong. No, it's not right.
That has no N.
So, metamorphosis, transition.
Yeah, but it doesn't have an N.
Yeah.
Okay, the last clue is, so this means it starts with this letter. It starts with an M. And so it's mold is the clue. So it has to start with an M. And I'm going to go to the next slide. And you can, so it's still 6-6. You guys have not lost any points because you have not wagered any points. And oh no, I hope that's not the right clue I need. Just dropped a card. Okay. We're going to go to the, oh, we got one more person thinking. So I'll give you like 10, 15 more seconds. So we got it. So are we ready? Here we go.
Yeah, I'm stuck. Oh, that's good.
So we do have the correct answer from Kristen. Mutation.
Oh.
Nice.
Kristen got it right, I think a couple rounds ago. So mutation is
We're just not very good at this.
Who wrote mutation here? Is that Rodger or Grace?
I didn't write mutation. I put mutant.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess, I mean, I don't know what the rule is for that, actually. I'm not 100% sure. I think you kind of house rule it. I don't know.
Well, I think if it's kind of close, I mean, they give some examples in the rule book.
I remember the examples of the rule books.
I mean, it's not too far off. I think you technically could give her that.
All right.
I remember what it said in the rules.
So we'll go to the score update. So that was the 4th round. So that means you got a point because it was the 4th round. And nobody wagered points, so no one lost points with that clue. So it's going to be Grace with 7 and Rodger with 6. Can you guys see the comments? That's what I was wondering while you were guessing, because this is the first time we're using the streaming platform.
Well, I don't have it where I think that's where you're streaming it. I'm not watching that, so
okay, perfect.
I'm not seeing it. I think that's cheating.
Yeah. I saw it pop up at the end.
Yeah, I
correct.
I put it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you guys can't see the answer. Awesome. All right. The next one is going to be the second easiest one. One word.
Actually.
One word, and the clue is ethanol. Ethanol. So it has to contain the letter E. The clue has to contain the letter E, and it's one word, and it has to do with ethanol. Type in the clue here to the chat. And again, you can join the PD if you want to.
Got to advance it, Dustin, so we can.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. chat in Pear Deck, and I think teachers are very used to this now, as having to manage a chat. If anybody does Zoom, manage the chat, take attendance, do the slides, check on the screens for people raising their hand. It's a lot of multitasking. So I'll give you guys maybe like 30 more seconds.
No, that's not gonna work.
All right.
I need more clues.
Go. We're gonna see if you guys got anything. Show responses. No guess. Okay. Next clue. Internal.
Ethanol, internal.
So it contains.
Go to the next one, Dustin.
Oh,
So we can guess.
there we go.
There we go.
So it contains an E. It contains an I. Clue 2 is internal. Ooh. Got another guess? I will reveal that if that guess is correct after round 4.
Oh my gosh, I'm not good at this.
If you want to join the Pear Deck, you can join. If you go to joinpd.com and then enter in the code, it should be XRBAA. It's in the comments too. Or you can play in the comments.
Ethanol, internal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll give you I guess you already guessed. Are we ready? Fermentation. Ooh, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. I like it, but it's not correct. All right, so it's still 7 Grace, 6 Rodger. The next clue. Oh man, my handwriting, sorry, but I will say it, is reddish. Reddish. So like the color red, reddish. So it needs to have an R, it needs to have an N or an I and an E. RIE. So it has to contain those letters.
R-I-E. Reddish.
Not radish, the Fuji, but reddish.
Oh, no. Reddish.
Reddish.
Internal.
Reddish, internal, and ethanol. This is actually probably the hardest of the 3. I'm thinking outside the box on this one too. So give you some extra clues. You have to get on the 4th clue.
Yeah, you said that the last time.
It's a good guess, Paula. I like it. You're close. You're getting there.
Reddish. Now I want to look at the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. We got no guesses. Okay. The last clue starts with an L, so it's lungs. So now the word has to start with an L. Clue for lungs. Word must start with an L.
Lungs, reddish.
So it has to start with an L, contains the letters EIR. The clues again. Ethanol, internal, reddish, lung. All right. Maybe 30 more seconds. I give you guys a little bit more time. I thought this would give it away, this clue. Starts with an L. Internal. Reddish.
You saying them slowly doesn't help.
Yeah, it's not kidding.
Oh man.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, I'll give you guys another clue because it looks like we're stumped. So this is what Paula guessed, which is very close. She's on the right track.
Wine.
Okay.
I think that threw me off even more.
Really?
All right. Are we ready?
I'm.
Okay. Here we go.
Starts with an L.
So it's liver. Liver.
Oh.
Ah,
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying. Like it's inside, it's internal, it's reddish, and it's
good clues, actually. Those are good clues.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. I get you.
all right. Last round of the game. So you guys gotta get one.
Let's do this. Just maybe it might help a little bit. I think
Yeah.
like, I've seen some things that people playing this because I mean I could see some students potentially struggling. I mean, even if I am, maybe even giving a generalized clue, like I don't know, this word is about. I mean, this is generalized, but this is like an earth science word.
Right.
Or if it was even something specific, you could say, this word has something to do with cells. Just at the beginning, I think I'm not saying, but it might help have a little more success, particularly if you're working with your students.
Yeah.
Put it in context. Yeah.
Yeah, give them a little bit because science is so broad.
Yeah.
I mean, you might know, it's biology, but there's a lot of things in biology, or you're in a earth science class, but there's a lot of topics that are in there.
Yeah. I'd like to make it difficult for you guys.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job with that.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you could have like said an anatomy to give like context for that clue.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. This has to do with anatomy, and then I just think it might narrow the thinking a little bit.
Right.
And I don't think that's you're kind of giving them an additional clue.
Right. Yeah, I think that's okay. I mean, it's the game is not the end goal in class, right? It's
Exactly.
so I think that's okay.
But I think it's one of those things too. You don't want to have too many people frustrated that
right.
oh, too hard. I don't know I can do this.
Yeah.
To give up. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have faith in you guys that you'll get this next one.
Okay.
Maybe this is the easiest one.
You said that last time. They've been getting easier, and then you said this was the hardest one. Okay.
Thank you, Paula, for watching. Hopefully everyone will get this next one. We'll see. So the next.
I think the slide's a bit ahead.
Oh. Round 3, guess. Oh yeah, you're right. So round 3, guess one. The clue is intelligent, and it's one word. Paula says even a Brazilian girl could guess, and kids are smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. That could be true.
So it's gonna be. I'm gonna type the clue in the comments. It's clue 1. Intelligent, but it has to have an I in the word. I'll give you a context on clue number 2. So if you don't get it after clue number 2, I'll give you an extra like contextual clue. So it's going to be one word, and it has an I in the word because the word my clue starts with intelligent. And remember, it is a science term, so it usually has to do with, since it's nerd word science, it usually has to do with, see if that focuses, it has to do with like science terminology. All right, so are we ready? It looks like you guys have a guess. Oh, someone got it. Who wrote brain?
That wasn't me.
Grace.
I did.
Nice. That was
That
good.
was quick, yeah, that was brain. My next clues were nerves,
Okay.
autonomy. I guess I could have done anatomy with that too.
Yeah.
Autonomy. And then I didn't have a B, so I'm glad you got it before.
I think it's just because the other question before was anatomy, so I was just focused on anatomy at this point.
So that helped you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be Grace with 11 points and Rodger with 6.
Chimpanzee. There's an I in there. I want the animal route.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like it's very I'm gonna go back to us. It's very like science topical, I guess. So you could really go like the anatomy route or the animal route with it, which is cool. Paula and Kirsten, thank you for playing along too. That was fun. It looks like Paula got it. I don't know if she got it before Grace, but if she did, I think Paula won that.
Right.
We got some points. Cool. Yeah, but I think it's a really good game. It's like just the idea, the mechanic in the game is great for anything. I think Scott mentioned that last game.
Thinking about words. I think even with the clues, I think like if I was to do them, I think what could be helpful is if you look at the definition they give you on the card, if some of those letters start with it, that might help you given some clues. You know, so like I don't know, liver detoxifies, metabolizes chemicals, creates bile.
So I think maybe which one I used the term from one of them.
Yeah, that one might not have been helpful, but you know, well, if you look at some of the stuff, maybe you can come up with something similar to it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of I would give as a hint, you know, for stuff. You could look at something, one of the words that's in the definition that matches one of the letters that you're using to kind of help you come up with a clue.
Right.
Well, if you get stuck, you know, you're like, oh, I can't give a clue for this.
Here, come up. Yeah. And like I mentioned, like just giving your students a card to take home and come up with clues for it for next class. That way you're not using the class time to come up with clues. People aren't getting frustrated. You also have students, they get the opportunity to really think through their clues instead of like, you know, just throwing a random word out there. And then the students that are guessing are kind of more, it's more apt for them to be able to guess correctly because the students really thought through the clues and thought of a good clue to give.
I mean, you could even maybe even do that in class too. You know, depending on how you're breaking it up, sort of, okay, we're going to give you these cards and you got to come up, you can explain it. You're going to have to give a clue. So you have to come up with some of them. And you could even do it there and then save it. If you didn't finish, then they, you know, if you didn't have time the next day, you come back and play it. And then they have their clues all ready to go.
Yeah.
You should get those same exact cards back and everything, which wouldn't be hard to save them, you know, with some bags or something and stick the cards in there and put the kids' names on them or whatever.
Right. And Paula said the first letter being part of, I think the main word is cool because that really helps. Usually by that time, you can at least think of some words that start with that letter.
Right.
I guess.
Exactly.
And you could also, I mean, you could add in some rules like the third clue ends with this letter, maybe. Well, then you're kind of limiting the clues a little bit, but I don't know. And I want to, because you brought up a really good thing about doing something in class, and I think this is something Rodger had come up with the game that works, I think, really well, called a vocabulary matrix. Do you want to explain a little bit about like what this is, Rodger?
Yeah, I'm hoping I can see it. I know it's my thing that I made. I can't remember what I have in there. So basically, I mean, I was doing a lot of this kind of stuff with my students, particularly towards the end of my career a little bit. It was just like, oops, wow.
Oh, I went too far.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe just a little bit more and just like slide over to the A for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, I made a bunch of different ways for students to work with words because just doing definitions I never felt was enough. I mean, that some of them are like, oh, well, I'm done. but it was the idea was to try to work with it a little bit and try to maybe personalize it a little bit so that it made a little more sense. So I did it in a way where they put the term in that first column, and then they have these 4 tasks that they do with those words. So like in this case, using the game, give the definition as it appears on the card. So they would just take that and put it, and then give your own definition of the same term or your own meaning. What does it mean to you? And I think the point there is that making sure students, because I just know through so many years of doing it, some of them are like, well, what's the right answer? Well, when you're coming up with your own meaning, that doesn't matter. You come up with whatever you put down. Does that make sense to you? Because that's the way I always present it to them. And they're like, yeah, well then good. That's perfect. And then they're going to write a sentence and find someone to share it with. So they can do a couple of them. And then they draw a visual representation of that term. Like, if they can draw it. A lot of science words, I think, kind of work that way, where they can draw it. And it was never like, the grading them on the drawings, it said you could just make a little symbol or something, that reminds you, so you're making a connection. And then give 2 examples of the term and 2 non-examples, or 2 related words and 2 non-related words, so that they're kind of connecting. And they don't necessarily have to do all this stuff as they're doing it, because some of these, like D, for example, they may not get some of the examples until they work through some of the other stuff. And then my thing was always like, well, just use the stuff you've already done, and you don't have to think of anything. So is there some examples here that are the same? Like, oh, I got a few of them as I went down the sheet, and then they can come back and do that. So they could just fill in those kind of as they go, and then, not have to do all of them in a row. They might leave some of it out. So it was just to try to get them to work with the word a little more beyond the definition, and trying to get them, hopefully getting a little bit better understanding. At least that was the idea.
Yeah, no, and that's like I was talking about the homework, or even just using that in class. That's perfect. Just give them some cards based on whatever science topic, because you can sort the cards topically based on whatever science content you're covering. So it's really cool. Paula said she's going to try this in my classes, so that's awesome. I'm happy it's valuable for her. Thank you for watching. Let us know how it goes too. Please let us know.
Oh, see, that's the thing too. Like, if Paul is listening, I mean, I think, we played this a couple times before. I mean, even the basic premise, the way this game works, I mean, you kind of got the rules and whatever. It's pretty easy. I think you could do it in any content.
Yeah.
It's not limited to science. You could do it, social studies, English. I would think anything.
Right.
Would be easy to adapt it. It's adaptable to anything.
Yeah, and that's one thing we talked about at the beginning. Trying to get in there in the middle is the game comes with the cards that you can use to create your own term too. So
right.
Cool. Well, Rodger, Grace, thank you for playing.
Of course.
If you're watching, thank you for watching, and thank you for playing in the comments. We'll play another game next week. It probably won't be Nerd Words. It'll be a different one. We've done this for like 3 or 4 times. We were thinking about maybe Evolution, but the digital version, maybe. We'll have to see if it. We'll have to see if it works. I think hopefully it should work.
Just capture the screen or something.
Yeah. There's got to be. I think we can manage it, but we'll be.
I've never played the digital one, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I like it. It's super cool. Like the graphics are like super pretty, and when you evolve, in the game, the card game, you're like creating your animal. In the digital version, there's certain combinations that you can create that unlock a picture of that animal. Right. So it'll show you what that animal actually looks like based on the animal traits you combine. So cool. Well, thank you guys for playing again, and thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Okay. See you, everybody.
Bye.